Hey everyone, thank you for joining. Happy Mahashivratri. And so today I was just called to do this, so offering this. And some of you have been asking for a chanting session, so I thought this is a good opportunity to do that. Um, and yeah, some of these chants I keep I keep listening to or chanting them pretty much every week, every day. So it'll be fun to kind of connect with everyone and do this with the group energy. Um, yeah, so that's what I want to say. So we'll start. I'm also going to be sharing a bit of a story or a bit of something maybe before every chant. So we'll sort of intersperse it with that. And as I'm chanting, if you feel called to chant, you can. If you feel called to meditate on it, you can. So I've done both. At one point, I felt like not opening my mouth and just meditating on it. Some points I want to chant. So whatever you're called to do today, you can do that. So Mahashivratri is said to be, we've heard this famous story about the churning of the ocean, churning of the cosmic ocean, and how there was poison and nectar that came out, and how, of course, Shiva is said to have come when there was poison first, of course, right? And so he came and he kind of said everything would have been destroyed. So he kind of said, I'll drink it. And then he takes it on. And of course, if he actually had it, it would destroy him, which means the whole universe is anyway destroyed. So then Parvati comes and holds his neck. And so it kind of stays there, right? So, and of course, at one level, this is a story. At one level, maybe it actually happened. At one level, it's symbolic of the selflessness and courage of Shiva and what's available to probably each of us, right? So, as that ideal. So, that's one thing. And then there was this very interesting other thing that I kind of saw, and I wanted to share that. If you're all like on this spiritual path, doing inner work, whatever you want to call it, like how does that process go? It's almost like this mythology is a direct correspondence to that. You'll see that a lot in this tradition where there's a story. At a high level, it's just a story with some characters, but at a deeper level, there's so many more truths that are revealed. So, in that sense, this cosmic ocean represents our own mind stream, right? Not just the surface level thoughts, but unconscious impressions, what we call sanskaras, our desires, our fears, our karmic tendencies, or latent spiritual potential, right? So, all of this is our mind stream. And so now this is our cosmic ocean, right? And we have the devas and the asuras, as you know, the good and the bad that were kind of wanting to get this nectar. So, in that sense, it's actually corresponding to our higher and lower forces within us. So we have clarity, we have good aspiration, we have goodness of heart, all of that, and we also have cravings, we have ego drives, things that attachment, so things that make us, things that pull us down in some sense. And so then there is as you know, there was a big Mount Mandara that was used to churn that ocean, and along with the serpent Vasuki, right? So this mountain is supposed to be your stability, right? Like it gives the stable thing. So your own stability, or they say dharana or concentration, right? Like whatever, I would say simply attention. Where is our attention? So where we give our attention is what comes out, right? So your own stability, or even that pause, that that pause before you react, right? So that when it becomes more and more available, then it kind of, we can move towards the positive, so-called positive side, right? Like, or at least let go of what we need to let go. And so that's the symbolic mountain. And then there is the serpent, of course, which is your energy, your own life force. You want to call it prana, you want to call it kundalini, whatever you want to call it. But we have this energy that we are working with, whatever is animating us, why I'm talking right now, right? Any actions we do, whatever that source, that energy is, we kind of harness that to do this, right? For this churning. Now, as you can imagine, the churning is happening. Once you kind of are doing this churning, the churning begins. Actually, I don't know if we are doing anything. The churning begins, and what comes out first, of course, is the poison, right? And so the poison comes out, and this is all our, again, repressed emotions or trauma, whatever you want to call it in that language. The fear of existential fear, like protecting ourselves. That's what the mind is essentially doing, right? It's trying to protect this identity so much, so hard. So all of that starts to come out, right? Like you start to see how much mess there is basically. And so that's the poison. Now, the key teaching is this, that the first thing that comes out is not bliss, it is this disturbance, right? It is this, oh my God, there's so much of this. And then there is Shiva's blue throat. Now, that's your awareness. Of course, Shiva represents pure awareness. And so now, what does he do? He doesn't. This is what I found very, very beautiful because he doesn't drink it. It's not like he drinks it, right? So it's not that it's just you're consumed by it. You get consumed by it. Neither are you letting it out, neither you're letting it in, right? So you're containing it. So awareness can contain this suffering, this poison. Awareness can hold it. It doesn't try to repress it, neither does it try to act out, right? So, and it does not identify with it. So that's the beauty of it, is that you don't, neither do you kind of repress it, neither do you act out, and you just hold it, because awareness is capable of holding this poison. And now, once that is done, once you figured out, or once you get to that point of like how you're holding that, that's when you get to realization, right? Like that's the nectar. Now you get the nectar of it. And so, what's the nectar? It's inner peace or liberation from all your fears, your ego dissolution, all of this, right? So, all of this is the nectar that we're getting to, the truth, the realization that what you were trying to hold on to doesn't even exist, right? So, yeah, I found this a beautiful kind of a symbolic to that particular story. And so you begin practice, and the mind gets churned. You're churning it. I guess most of us are at that stage where we're churning, and a lot of poison is coming out. And awareness strengthens, and you learn to hold it. And that's when your stability develops to a point where there's awakening, right? Or liberation or freedom or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. Wanted to share this thing before we chat. Okay. So, all right, so let's chat. I'm going to mute everyone. All right. शिव कैलासों के वासी, धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। शिव कैलासों के वासी, धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया, तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया, अंत बेअंत तेरी माया। ओ भोले बाबा, अंत बेअंत तेरी माया। शिव कैलासों के वासी, धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। शिव जी नु सजदा चोलात डोरा, शिव जी नु सजदा चोलात डोरा, गौरानु सजदा दुशाला। ओ भोले बाबा गौरानु सजदा दुशाला। शिव कैलासों के वासी धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। शंकर संकट हरना। शंकर संकट हरना। All right. So Shivji is also called Bholenath, right? Like Bhole Baba, like we were saying. So he's said to grant, like whatever we ask, he's said to grant that, right? Like very easily. And you might, if you've heard the stories, then you know that he also granted boons very easily to even the asuras, like the bad ones, right? The evil people. So even to them he would grant, and then there would be a big mess. So he easily grants your wishes, is what it said. So he's a very innocent and gullible god in that sense. And so, but then there's the catch. The catch is that whatever you ask for will ultimately destroy you. And when I say you, of course, it's the idea of you, whatever your ego, you're holding on to this identity, it will destroy you. No matter what you ask for, he will grant it, but then it's going to destroy you, kind of a thing. So no matter what path you take, what you run after, there's only one place to reach, which Shiva will ensure, which is your full ego dissolution, right? So yeah, so he's said to be easily pleased. It's also said that he doesn't expect too many things, right? He just expects the simplest of offering with devotion, with sincere devotion, is said to please him deeply. So, all right, let's chant. It's called Shiv Stuti. I'm going to repeat each verse twice. So if you want, you can sing it on the second time if you're singing along, or you can just tune in. आशुतोष शशांक शेखर चंद्रमौलि चिदंबरा, कोटि कोटि प्रणाम शंभु, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा। आशुतोष शशांक शेखर चंद्रमौलि चिदंबरा, कोटि कोटि प्रणाम शंभु, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा। निर्विकारोंकार अविनाशी, तुम्ही देवादिदेव, जगत्सर्जक प्रलयकर्ता शिवं सत्यं सुन्दर निर्विकारोंकार अविनाशी तुम्ही देवादिदेव जगत्सर्जक प्रलयकर्ता शिवं सत्यं सुन्दर शिवं सत्यं सुन्दर निरंकार स्वरूप कालेश्वर महायोगीश्वर दयानिधि दानीश्वर जय जटाधर अभयंकर निरंकार स्वरूप कालेश्वर महायोगीश्वर दयानिधि दानीश्वर जय जटाधर अभयंकर जय जटाधर अभयंकर शूलपाणि त्रिशूलधारी औघड़ी भागंबरी जय महेश त्रिलोचनाय विश्वनाथ विशंबर शूलपाणि त्रिशूलधारी औघड़ी बाघंबरी जय महेश त्रिलोचनाय विश्वनाथ विशंबर विश्वनाथ विशंबर नाथ नागेश्वर हरोहर पाप शाप अभिशाप तम महादेव महाभोले सदाशिव शिव शंकर नाथ नागेश्वर हरोहर पाप शाप अभिशाप तम महादेव महाभोले सदाशिव शिव शंकर सदाशिव शिव शंकर जगतपति अनुरक्ति भक्ति सदैव तेरे शरण हो क्षमा हो अपराध सब सब जय जय जयति जगदीश्वर जगतपति अनुरक्ति भक्ति सदैव तेरे चरण हो क्षमा हो अपराध सब जय जय जयति जगदीश्वर जय जय जयति जगदीश्वर जन्म जीवन जगत का संताप ताप मिटे सभी ओम नमः शिवाय मन जपता रहे पंचाक्षर जपता रहे पंचाक्षर जन्म जीवन जगत का संताप ताप मिटे सभी ओम नमः शिवाय मन जपता रहे पंचाक्षर आशुतोष शशांक शेखर चंद्रमौलि चिदंबर कोटि कोटि प्रणाम शंभु कोटि नमन दिगंबर कोटि नमन दिगंबर कोटि नमन दिगंबर कोटि नमन दिगंबर। So the next chant I want to do is the one that I've heard from Krishna Das, and the way he does it, I just fell in love with it the first time I heard it. And so I'm going to do that. But I wanted to tell you a story about Kashi that I discovered. I mean, I've heard the myth. I mean, and maybe all of you have heard it too. It is said that if you die in Kashi, you're going to attain full liberation, right? And I found it, and I've heard this since childhood, and I thought it's a complete superstition, right? Like, I was like, this is a myth, it can't be. Because how can you do all kinds of things in your life and then you just go to Kashi to die and you're okay, you're set free, right? And this is where I found a beautiful insight where, we imagine that your spiritual progress is linear in time, right? We imagine that we imagine we know where we are in our own spiritual journey. And then we assume it's like you work on this, you work on this, you work on this, and you're done, right? So this whole myth basically challenged that, right? Like this idea that you just go there and die and you're free. Like, so one, of course, is that we don't know where anyone is. We don't know if you can decide to die in Kashi and whether it's even possible, right? Like, can you get there? Like, just because you thought it doesn't mean it's going to happen, firstly. And then there was this beautiful story, though, that really, like, opened my eyes to something. Like, I was like, wow, this is something else. Like, so this comes from Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He's said to have been on a boat on the Ganges in Kashi, and he went into a samadhi state, right? He went into a higher consciousness. And once he came back, he said, I saw that the people who died, right? I saw Shiva actually whisper Lord Ram's name in their ears. And I saw that Bhavtarini, the goddess, is kind of helping, not helping, is immediately removing all the knots of bondage, and they're free. So the idea is that we are in this body, right? It's called, there are 5 koshas. So there is one is the Annamaya kosha, which is the body. Then there is the energy body. And then there is the Manomaya kosha, mind body. And then the Vijnanamaya kosha, the mind, the mental stream I was talking, the intellect. And then there is the Anandamaya kosha, which is the bliss, which is your true nature, right? So he says that I saw, and they say that, okay, the energy rises through this, and then through sadhana, through all of this, your energy reaches your Sahasrara, and that's how you attain liberation. So now you would think, yes, so that's why it's such a long process, all of this is there, and we have to work towards it. But this kind of broke the whole thing. He said he saw that the goddess goes there and it's done in seconds, like, it happens in seconds. And then he said, and one of the disciples asked, what do you mean? How is this possible? And he said, Shiva appears to this person when he's about to die. And if you're in Kashi, right? So the Shiva appears, and to the person who's dying, he says, this form you have taken on and this form I have taken on is all Maya. And he shows them, he frees them immediately of the form, and he shows them what the reality is, right? So you get a full glimpse of reality in those last few seconds, and that's how they're completely freed, is what he said, right? And so, yeah, it's so, the powerful thing was that it's not about our effort, it's about grace. And so at one level, there's wonder, right? At this story, I was just stuck with wonder, and then there's surrender, right? Like, so wonder and surrender. So just like, if you imagine, let's stop imagining, the ego can sneak in even when you're trying to say, oh, I want to get here. I want to get that now. I want to get to liberation. So instead of, but we don't know where we are. We don't know our own progress. We can't measure it. We can't do that like we do for the rest of the things in the world. So the only thing that is asked for is surrender, is what was my insight from this story. And also just how we imagine we know the constructs of some things, and it kind of completely breaks, because people like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and great sages like this, they have a greater sight. They can see much more, right? So, and when they give you a glimpse into what they can see, it opens up so much for us as well. So yeah, I found this beautiful. All right. And I don't know if, I know that Kashi is one place, which is very, very significant like that. But I think it's about arriving at that point of surrender. And then, of course, anywhere could be Kashi, if that's right. Like, it's about grace, right? If grace allows, maybe if you have to be there, you'll be there. Maybe you'll be somewhere else, but it doesn't matter. If you've truly surrendered, it doesn't matter anymore, like, right? It's not even about now trying to get to Kashi or anything like that, right? So, yeah, wanted to share that. All right, now let's chant. I hope the music was okay the second time. I didn't realize it was loud. Okay, great. Thank you. नामीशमीशां निर्वाणरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्म वेदस्वरूपं निजं निर्गुणं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं चिदकाशमाकाशवसं भजेऽहम् निराकारमोङ्कारमूलं तुरीयं गिराज्ञानगोतीतमीशं गिरीशं करालं महाकालकालं कृपालं गुणगारसंसारपरं नतोऽहम् हर हर महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे 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 हर हर महादेव शंभो हर हर महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे हर हर महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे हर हर महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे हर हर महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे हर 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 महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे हर 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 महादेव शंभो हर हर महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे हर हर महादेव शंभो काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे, हर हर महादेव शंभो। काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे, काशी विश्वनाथ गंगे। Okay. So it's about, when we say surrender, it's about, you might surrender to a god, a deity, or even a guru, a teacher, like whoever it is, right? Like you trust that you will be led home, right? You will be led there. It's inevitable, basically. So that's the promise. So the next chant I want to do has a very interesting story, and I've been obsessed with this chant for months now since I discovered it. It's not a chant, actually. It's a composition. It's a Carnatic composition, but it's, of course, it's in praise of Lord Shiva. So, and I just liked one version of this, which is not the whole song, of course. It's just one particular paragraph, or charana, like we say. So it's supposed to be that Shiva is, there's this in India, of course, in these temples, there are 5 temples representing 5 elements. It's all Shiva temples, but it represents 5 different elements. One, of course, you may have heard, which is the Arunachala mountain itself. They say that itself is Shiva, right? So Arunachala is one, it represents the fire element. Similarly, there is the temple in Kanchipuram, which represents the earth element. And then there is Chidambaram temple, which represents the space element. And there is the air element in Kalahasti, somewhere in Andhra Pradesh. And then there is this water element, which is what this composition is about. So this particular composer, he's called Muthuswami Dikshitar, he composed one composition for each of these different elements, or each of these temples. He went there and he composed these compositions. So this one is about the water element. So this is in it's called Jambukeshwara temple in it's in Trichy, Tiruvannaikaval, I think. I hope I'm saying it right. I've not been there. I just heard this song, right? So, and so it has a very interesting story of how this temple even came about. So it is said that 2 ganas in Shiva's ganas, right? 2 of them were cursed and they were sent to earth. And they were born as an elephant and a spider. And so these elephant and spider were such big devotees of Lord Shiva, of course. And so there's a linga which is said to have just appeared or erupted automatically in a forest, right? And then this elephant and the spider took care of that shivling so much. The elephant used to bring water and pour it, and the spider wove a web above it so that there's no leaves and dust that falls on the shivling. So that's the story, the folklore, I would say, right? Like that's the story of why that place even came about, and apparently the temple has so much of water element. There's a natural stream falling on the shivling, and all the temple premises has water flowing through it and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So much went into temple design and things like that before, and so there's so much more we don't know. Again, I feel like I don't know so much about how those things are constructed, everything that goes behind it, so the science of it. But anyway, that aside, so that's the story of this whole composition, and I found it quite beautiful. And so here in this particular place, he's talking about how the Shiva, who is such a compassionate one, right? He says, and he's the dearest to the one who is his devotee. When, like, who is his devotee, he's like the dearest to them, right? So that's the whole premise of this particular verse. And yeah, and he calls him Jambu Pate in this case, right? Because of the Jambukeshwar temple, he's referring to him, and he says, protect me, right? So that's what he's saying. And there's this very interesting line where he says, you are that indescribable sound, right, that created that brought about creation. They say that there is a hum. I mean, sometimes if you really tune in, you can hear it. There's a hum behind. The silence is not just silent, right? There's a hum. There's a hum behind it, which is actually Om. They say that's what's sustaining this universe. That's what the creation. That's how it's all creations even come about, right? So that I found very fascinating. But more than anything, this verse is very, very correct, right, Shubhra? The unhadnad, the unstruck sound, right? So yeah, so let's just this is very meditative for me, this verse. So maybe you just want to meditate on, like, just silently tune in to this, and that's it. Okay. पर्वत जा प्रार्थिता पुलिंग विभो पंचभूत मया प्रपंचा प्रभो सर्वजीव दया कर शंभो सामजाट विनिलय स्वयंभो सर्वकरुणा सुधा सिंधो शरणागत वत्सलार्थ बन्धो अनिर्वचनीय नाद बिन्दो नित्यमौलिविधृत गेन्दो निर्विकल्पक समाधि निष्ठ शिव कल्पकतरो निर्विशेष चैतन्य निरंजन गुरु गुह गुरो जम्बूपते मां पाहि निजानन्द अमृतबोधं देहि जम्बूपते मां पाहि। All right. So, what he's asking for in that last line was give me the real Amrita, right? The truth. That's what he's asking. Give me the truth. And he's saying, protect me, of course, but he's saying, the Amrita that is the truth, please lead me to that, right? That's what he's saying. So, yeah. All right. So, one last one, and this last one is easy. We're just going to do Om Namah Shivaya. And it's supposed to be. Now, I want to tell you, this is something I found out yesterday, that this has. It is said in the Shiva Purana that Shiva himself told Parvati that this just the simple chant is more powerful, like a crore times more powerful than anyone who does any penance, any sacrifice, any holy rites, anything. This simple mantra is more powerful than, even if one person says it one time with full devotion, it's more powerful than any of this. So Lord Shiva himself is said to have said this. That's just something I found out for you guys. I just love tuning into this mantra anyway. So we'll do it for both reasons. All right. So this one, again, I love to do it in the way that Krishna Das does it. So I'm going to do that. And you can just follow along. You can just tune in, whatever you like I said. So I'm going to say 2 lines and then you're going to repeat the 2 lines. That's how it's going to be if you want to follow along. All right. So we have not looked at the chat. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Shivaya Namaha. Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namaha. Namah Shivaya. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Girija Shankara 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 Namah Shivaya. Arunachal Shiva Namah Shivaya. Arunachal Shiva Namah Shivaya. Arunachal Shiva Namah Shivaya. Arunachal Shiva Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Girija Shankara Namah Shivaya. Shambho Shankara गिरिजाशङ्कर नमः शिवाय अरुणाचल शिव नमः शिवाय अरुणाचल शिव नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः नमः शिवाय Let's be quiet for 2 minutes. All right, whenever you're ready, you can emerge. All right, anybody wants to say anything? Ask anything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you can't. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you for saying that, reminding me. Okay, now try. Sorry.
Yeah. Wow, Smita, you took us on this beautiful journey. It was otherworldly.
Thank you.
Your chants, your singing is so full of devotion. I just wanted to know one thing. The second one which you sang, Ashutosh, Shashank, Shekhar.
Yeah.
What is that actually?
It's
I
called
mean,
Shiv Stuti. Shiv Stuti.
just a Shiv Stuti.
You can,
So I
yeah, there's a lot of versions on YouTube of this.
okay, Stuti. All right. Yes. Okay, that is one thing. Uh, Normally, Shiv, when we talk of Shiv, we talk of someone who is formless, didn't have any form,
Yeah.
a unification of the feminine and the
Yeah.
masculine energy. And when Shiv, when we talk of the Shiv with a form, it's like Adi Shiv and Adi Shakti. But I was just wondering that when we like, let's say, meditate on Shiva, should it be the formless energy or the one with the form?
I
That
think,
is what.
yeah, it's easier. I mean, it's usually the form I feel is there because it's easier to connect to a form, right? Like,
Mhm.
and so there's nothing wrong. I feel like when you feel you don't need the form, then go ahead. You don't need the form. But if you do need a form, then why not? Isn't it beautiful? Like they say, even let's say a baby is born, right? And we say until we give it a name, like the baby is just a baby, right? It's just a functioning. And now we've called it something. And after that, the whole life we say, this is you. And that's how we enforce that identity. But in
Right.
one way, it's beautiful. Now I say this, and then I'm like, it's a means of like limiting, but it's also beautiful. And that's how experience gets created, right? But then
Yes.
if you don't, if you feel like, if you're at the stage where you're like, no, then drop it,
Mhm.
right? Like it's, yeah. Yeah, it's not either or. I feel it's both.
It's both.
Yeah. But yeah, with Shiva, like if you're just tuning in and you're quiet and you're just
Mhm.
present and like noticing the awareness, like we say, isn't that Shiva already? Like that's Shiva, right? Like that's it. And then, but if you want a form, like today we've said, yeah, this Shiva and Parvati got married and this and that. But it's cute, it's beautiful. I find it beautiful. It's like sweet, right? Our hearts are, since we're in this human mind and we are having this experience, these
Mhm.
stories, that's what pulls us. Like it draws us,
Yes,
it's like to draw us in and then you're freed, right? You get drawn in by that. So
correct, correct. Bilkul, bilkul. That's true. Thank you so much, Smita.
thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, Smita. It was a beautiful session. It was lovely listening to your voice and to the chants.
Thank you for joining. Thank you.
And Sonali Lokhandwala is also here in the session. So we meet every Sunday for chanting.
Oh, nice. Where are
And
you
yeah,
guys?
so
Where are
we
you based?
we meet online. We are
Okay.
learning as
Nice.
part of Share Your Gifts. We are learning music and we are learning chanting
Oh,
every
okay.
Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So we did some chanting in the evening today, 40 minutes.
Very
And
nice.
we mainly did chanting of a Shiva verse only from
Okay.
Isha Foundation.
Yeah.
So it was just beautiful doing it, with
Yeah.
you and so many new things to listen to. And especially the stories that you narrated, they were very beautiful to listen to. And, then sitting in that energy of Shiva. So, yeah, the day was beautiful. We are ending the day beautifully.
So nice.
So,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
the song of your that is my favorite bhajan also, Shiva Kaila Shokevasi.
Oh,
So by Rishi, no, Rishabh Sharma, right?
yes, I
Mm.
love that version. That's the version I was
Yeah.
trying to sing.
Yeah, I mean, I too sing that, so it was very beautiful. And but my network was erratic, so you will be posting the recording, no? Because I want
Yeah,
to do the Jagran. I'm going to be by myself and do all this like again.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, sure, sure. No, that
Lovely.
version is very soothing, very nice. Yeah, even I find that beautiful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, his voice itself is so
It
soothing,
is,
no?
it is. Yeah, it is. I agree.
Yeah, so the Krishna Das versions that you sang today, I hear them almost every day.
Yeah,
So it
same.
was like, it was very beautiful to just hear them in another voice. It was very nice.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I also, kind of memorized them by heart, but now listening in your voice, it was all the more very different and beautiful.
Yeah. Usually when I listen
So,
to Krishnadas, you're not trying to keep track of how many times he said something or
No,
anything,
no,
right?
no,
You just
not
like
at all.
you're just tuning in. And so now I had
Yeah,
to, when I had to like do it, I was like, I need to know how long I need to do this,
yeah,
right? So yeah,
And
it's
once you
amazing
listen to
how,
Krishna Das, no, like even his Hanuman Chalisa,
well,
I'm hooked to it.
me
It's
too.
like I just have to listen every day, it's that
Yeah.
way.
It's what he does
Beautiful, like
is
his voice.
magical. He connects to something else, and yeah,
yeah.
and I just connect. I think we're all like a chain, right? Like he's connected to Neem Karoli Baba. I'm like I'm connecting to
Ah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So waiting for your recording now.
Yeah, sure. I'll post it.
Thank you, Smita.
Thank you
Always,
very much. Bye.
yes, I'm Smita's biggest fan. Always, if she'll tell you that I'm always telling her, please chant, please chant. So beautiful, so blissful,
Yeah.
really nice.
A lot of
Just
things had to be
takes us to a
dropped.
different world, na? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
I almost felt like we went to a higher elevation, like
Yeah.
with it, like really. And
No, I find
amazing. And I
chanting
mean,
so powerful. Like it's such an easy way, right? Like you don't have to think or do, or like you're like quiet your mind, do nothing. It just automatically happens because you're tuning in. It's so beautiful, and it's so beautiful if you love music. Like it's like
I think
it's so
music has
natural.
that extra quality. Yeah,
Yeah.
music has that extra quality to elevate you very quickly.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
just
Yeah.
one
And
day.
then this was very blissful today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Today,
much.
Shweta.
today I was at this concert in Delhi. You know, it was a bhajan concert in Bharat Mandapam. I don't
Oh,
know
nice.
how 2.5 hours passed.
Yeah.
It was pure bliss.
Yeah.
It was basically Krishna
Yeah.
bhajans.
Mm.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah, only music carries, that energy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know,
And they
it
say
was
this naam
blissful.
jap, like we say the names itself have that power. Like that's why it can immediately like, and yeah,
And
like
then, you know,
mhm.
sorry, I
No, go
interrupted.
ahead, go
Sorry.
ahead. No, go
You
ahead.
know, today Shivratri, I was so much wishing because once I had attended a talk by Nitya on Shivratri, and a story he said it stuck in my mind, but I don't exactly remember it. If any of you know it or you may have attended, maybe 2-3 years back.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he took a session last year, Sonali.
What's
Last
the
year he
story?
took one
He's done
session.
it 2-3 years. Yeah, he's done it for 2-3 years.
yeah. So, you know, the story is about that Shiva is very bhola, okay? So so people can ask him for anything and he gives it.
Yeah.
But then I don't remember the rest of the story. Does any one of you remember? Like,
This
does
is what
when
it was. Like for us, I mean, the one I shared, the thing I was sharing today is from him only. He said,
Acha.
Shiva grants you whatever you want, but there's a caveat. He's going to it's going to destroy you. Like it's going to destroy you. You in the sense,
Okay.
whatever your idea of you, because of for Sonali, I want this, my this, my that, right? Like so he said, okay, take it, and then that itself is going to be the thing that's going to end do your dissolution, right? Like it's going to lead you to that finally. Like it's going to lead.
And yes, I remember now. Now that you said it, no, I remember that he gives you that caveat or whatever, you know, that
Yeah.
setback or that worst thing, so that you get drawn towards it.
Correct. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
finally,
exactly.
ना भगवान को कोई याद नहीं करता ना सब कुछ अच्छा
Correct.
होता है तो that's
Yeah.
the general
Yeah.
assumption, right? So something like that. Yeah. Thank you, Smita. You completed my fill in the blanks.
That recording must be there somewhere, Sonali,
I'm sure it's on
his
YouTube.
platform.
YouTube पे होगा. I was
Either
trying to
YouTube
search.
or his platform. That recording should be there because I've heard it couple of times last year when he did it.
Yeah.
It was a
Okay.
long recording. Yeah, it was a long session
हाँ
he did
मैंने
on.
ढूंढा 3 घंटे का एक है
3
recording
घंटे का.
शिवरात्रि.
It was a long session
No,
last
those
year,
were
I
very
remember.
powerful sessions for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was like it really raised goosebumps. Like, I mean, you get the essence of what is Shiva.
Yeah.
Like how I read it to Sonali, I sent that, you know, it is
Yeah,
so beautiful. Like I would like to
yeah.
just share this something which I got the Shiva ka meaning, you know. One second. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah. So this says that Shiva is the silence between thoughts, the space within atoms, the awareness behind perception, the nothingness that contains everything. To awaken Shiva is to realize you were never separate from him.
Yeah.
You are not seeking Shiva, you are remembering yourself. Oh my
Yeah.
God, every time I read it, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful,
know.
no?
I know. You,
Thanks for sharing. That was beautiful, Sonali.
yeah. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
I just want to just one last thing that is coming to me is how you shared about the Ramakrishna Paramhansa story today,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it is effortless also. It is
Yeah.
through grace,
Yeah.
and I think that is the just surrender. And so grace will pull you through, because if you get into like we have to do all of this, and as you were
Yeah.
saying, right, it to some extent it's like also the ego comes to play. I've done though so much only is left, or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
on this
Or
path,
you're
and
like,
like,
or you get disheartened, like, why
or you
isn't
get
it
disheartened.
happening? Yeah.
Yeah, right, like either way.
Yeah.
So so the best part is that it is through grace, and then that just eases all the, it just immediately relaxes you,
Yeah. So yeah, it
and
could
then
be
takes
so
you to that state immediately,
yeah. So in that story,
right,
it's
like,
almost like it could be a sage who's done all kinds of tapas and got there, or it could be an old lady who's just had a family life and died in Kashi, and both are going to have the same thing, right? Like, and because
yeah,
and why and what, like we don't know that. We don't know. We have our limited view, so let's not go there at all, right? Like, so that part was very powerful.
yeah,
Like, stop compare because our comparing mind even goes there, right? Like you're like now you start comparing there, you're like, so you just like
yeah.
stop all that, yeah.
Yeah. But if you see it as just as a process, it's just through grace that it happens. And
Yeah.
it's all the pressure lifted, all the comparison lifted, all
Yeah.
everything is just lifted. And today you're chanting, and always you're chanting, but today you're chanting because it's such a powerful day as well, is almost like felt that effortless to reach that calm place for me.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Smita.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really, I mean, it's so good to be part of this community of like-minded people, no?
Yes.
Which Nitya brought together.
Yes.
Grace also brings the over his what he keeps on saying about surrender, about handover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it always comes to my mind whenever you seek grace and you're asking for something to help you. Yeah.
You will be helped. Yeah. What like Nitya says, I love those some of those lines he says, right? Like help is always available. Like, you know, you're always
Yeah.
taken care of, kind of a thing. Like there's nothing, you'll never be abandoned. So yeah. All right.
Beautiful.
Anyone else?
All right. See you
Anything?
guys next week.
Yeah, I think good. We're good. I think we're over time a bit. So, but thank you all for staying. Thank you for joining because your joining facilitates this space to exist. So, which is so beautiful, and
Yes.
we could all tune into this energy. So, thank you. And yes, see you
Thank
next week.
Thank
See you
you.
next
Thank
week.
you, Smita.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.